These are two F3.5 Pro engine offered by HPI. So I got two of these engines. On the outside they look the same, but they aren't. The one on the left here is the 3-port. I'll take the sleeve out in a bit and compare. And the one on the right is the 5+2 bypass port. So this has more ports and this looks the same. I think this is the pre-2013 version that was made first, and then I think there was a complaint that fuel consumption was bad on them, so they released a 2013 version with the 3-port, which resulted in lower fuel consumption, so more mileage, so you get more runtime from this guy. On paper, the one on the right here is rated at max RPM of 50,000 RPM. I think this one is 45,000 RPM, but on paper this one also has 3.34 horsepower, and the 5-port has 3.33 horsepower, so almost the same. Just by looking at the outside, the head, cooling head, is the same. I count number of fins, I looked at the cuts, all these cooling holes here, those seem similar in both design. The carburetor also seems similar, minus the fuel feed port here. As you can see, this is brass versus, I don't know what this is, maybe aluminum, but that's the difference I noticed. The casting looks similar, minus how the logo is placed on the body here. It's a sticker on the pre-2013 version, and the logo is in the casting of the 2013 version on both sides. There's a sticker on both sides, so that's one telltale sign how they're different. The casting looks the same for the housing. Don't see any difference there, minus the fact that the machining is different. You see the machining, the cooling, some cooling vent holes and some lightening of the housing. It incorporates some drilling in the fins. The pre-2013 version doesn't have that, so machining is different. So that's one big difference I see there. And because of the real estate to do the drilling, the casting actually may be different here. They probably had to put more more webbing area here for the drillings to actually be made. So yeah, the casting is different in that regard, to incorporate the drilling here. What I'm gonna do, so from a weight perspective, they're on the same. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them apart. I've run this before. First I want to let you guys know I bought these used, both of them, from UK last year, and this, I just got this in the mail today, even though I bought it 3 months ago. So this one I've ran this already. Pretty. It runs like an OS actually. Pretty good for being an RTR. I will open them up and I'll do a comparison. I think the crankshaft is the same part number. I think minus the change of the fuel feed port is different. Everything else should be the same. They both have a 8mm venturi in there. Both, yeah. So I'm thinking that the basic architecture and design of the car is the same. So let me pause the video and take the head off, and then I'll move to take the carb off, and then the flywheel on this one, and take the crank out. So I've seen people ask on the forum and the groups, how do you remove the pinch bolt? Well, on this design, the pinch bolt is held in with one screw, and it basically goes through this sleeve here, and as you tighten it, it pulls this sleeve. There's two-piece sleeves together. How you take it out is that you undo this side fully all the way. Best way to take out the car without damaging it. So you undo this all the way out, and then you thread it on this side in. Try to do it with one hand. And then you could take a plier or something. Well, in this case, see, you just pull it out. And that's how you remove the pinch bolts on these design. And then with that out, you could use something to tap this one out from this end, and then you'll remove the carburetor. So I loosened the 4 backplate screws. What you need to do is to rotate your crankshaft so that your piston is, you know, almost a top dead center or top dead center to get the skirt out the way, because these are long stroke engines, so you don't want to knock the skirt off the back of the piston, so you get your piston out the way before you take the back plate off. Both engines are nor apart. I had to heat the 2013 one up in the oven a little bit to get the sleeve out. This one was easy. I found out there's some marks on the flange of the sleeve. Maybe the prior owner tried to get it out, but it wasn't bad. So I just want to compare what I've seen so far. They are both used engines, so you could see some carbon buildup. I'll clean this off before I rebuild it. I noticed that the counterweight, you know, or the turbo port section here is black oxide. I don't know if the pin was probably black oxide too, but it wore off. Both of the crankshafts are like that. Only the back section has black oxide. I noticed also that the 2013 one only has 3 shims, and I think I know why. While the pre-2013 has 4 shims. I compared the burn chamber, which is, they're both turbo, and I noticed that the volume or the depth on the 2013 is more deeper bowl. So from a volume perspective, with 3 shims, it may be equal to the pre-2013 version with some more shallow or lower volume bowl with 4 shims. So you get more volume by adding more shims. I don't know if it equals the same amount as this one, but I think that's the main reason why the 2013 has less shims. The sleeve now, so as I said before, this 2013 one reported to have 3 ports. So if we go side here, 1 on this side, 2 on this side, so that's 2 ports, and 1 in the front inlet, so that's 3 ports. And then there's these 2 lower exhaust bypass ports here. That's not counted. On the 2012 or pre-2013, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like they said, plus 2, which is these 2 here, 1, 2, so it's 5 port plus 2 bypass ports. I think I spoke to HPI, best of their knowledge, since these were old engines. This was the first to be released, the obviously pre-2013 version. A lot of power, very good engine, but consumed too much fuel for a buggy. I think a 5-port, being 5-port. So they released the revised version of that engine, and they changed the combustion bowl, the burn chamber, and reduced the number of ports to get more fuel economy. I also noticed that the piston has this dimple in there. Again, I heard that was for improved performance and lower fuel economy as well. Better fuel economy. And this one is just a typical flat piston. Nothing more to compare, but I think these are well-designed engines over the regular F4.6s from Force. You got a lower CG head on both designs, as you see here. Again, the casting of the housing is almost the same, minus these extra drillings in the body on the 2013 version. Makes the engine a bit lighter, but and then this one doesn't have that. The back plate on the 2013 black oxide as well. This one, see, it has more use on it. I see some wear there. Well, it's almost the same design. Let's check the pinch. So the pinch on the 2012, which is probably have more use on it, you could see there, that's the pinch. That's the farthest it'll go freely if I force it, but that's the pinch on this one. And the 2013 has more pinch, less wear on the piston and the engine, it seems. My plan is to put the 5-port in the Hellfire I'm building right now, and I'm gonna put the 3-port one in the D8 buggy that this engine was into. So, you know, this is more of a track setup buggy that I have. This is more of a truggy, so a bit bashing, so want the extra RPMs, you know. I'm going to run probably a 13 tooth. I think it's a 15 tooth. I'm going to run 13 tooth on there. Put this 15 teeth on the buggy, so it's lighter, so it doesn't need all that torque on the bottom end. So we could put the taller gear on the buggy, and I'm going to put a 14 or 13 on the Hellfire. So I didn't see much any wear on the crankshaft. It's just a burnt carbon on there, burnt up carbon. So I'm gonna clean the engine and put some after run HPI after run oil on there, and then I'm gonna put again this in the truggy in the Hellfire, and I'm gonna probably shoot some videos of it.